First and foremost, I'd like to offer our condolences to the family and friends of the pilot who was killed in this tragic accident. And I'd also like to offer my sincere gratitude for the outstanding work, help, and cooperation of the New York Police Department, Fire Department of New York, the New York Emergency Management Office, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, the Department of Buildings, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FAA, and the building management company, Commonwealth Partners. Yesterday, we formed a team to investigate this accident involving an Augusta 109E twin-engine helicopter which crashed on the roof of 787 7th Avenue yesterday afternoon. There's not a heliport located on top of the building. The investigative team includes Leonardo Helicopters, Pratt & Whitney of Canada, and the Federal Aviation Administration. Our mission is to gather the facts and ultimately determine the probable cause of this accident and make recommendations to prevent similar accidents from happening in the future. This morning we met with first responders and our investigative team to set the scope and begin our on-scene examination. Some of the information we know so far is that the helicopter departed with the pilot and one passenger from Westchester County yesterday about 11:30 a.m. It landed in Manhattan about 11:45 a.m. The passenger disembarked. The pilot waited at the 34th Street helipad until about 1:30 when he departed for his destination in Linden, New Jersey. The helicopter crashed on the roof about 1:40 p.m. This morning I visited the accident scene. The wreckage is confined to the rooftop. It is highly fragmented, and a post-crash fire consumed much of the wreckage. We began our scene documentation focusing on preserving perishable evidence such as wreckage condition, witness statements, records, and video recordings. We have much more work to do before this investigation is complete. We've begun gathering records about the pilot, the helicopter, weather and environment at the time of the accident. We've already begun our witness interviews. Several witnesses have been already interviewed, including the passenger on the previous flight, staff at the 34th Street helipad. More witness interviews ongoing now and planned. Anyone who saw or heard or knows anything about this flight should contact us at the following email address: witness@ntsb.gov. After the on-scene documentation is complete, the wreckage will be moved to a secure location for a more detailed examination for the remainder of this week. The NTSB will not determine the probable cause while on scene or speculate about the cause or the circumstances of this accident. You can expect a preliminary report summarizing the facts gathered while we were here in New York in about 2 weeks on the ntsb.gov website. That report will also not contain the cause. It will summarize the facts gathered to date. I've got time for a few questions. Not too many. I've got to get back to work, and hold on 1 second. I want to give you, before I forget, for all the questions I don't get to or can't answer because I don't have that information right now, you need to contact NTSB Mr. Terry Williams at 202-314-6100. I've got just a few minutes. Go
How
ahead.
different did this helicopter have a flight data recorder or a voice recorder? And if so, is that something you think?
It's an excellent question. The helicopter was not installed. The cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder were not installed on the helicopter. They're not required. However, there is instrumentation and helicopter systems that do have memory in them and the capability to record. We're searching for those on the rooftop right now.
Doug, can you talk more about the weather? The NYPD's aviation unit, they were grounded because of the weather yesterday. Should this helicopter have been in the air?
Well, that's something that we're looking into. I've not reviewed the records, but it's certainly one of the most interesting concerns we have is gathering as much information about the weather. Should the helicopter have been flying? I don't know yet.
Was there communication?
We've got some information that says that the pilot may have tried to make radio calls near the end of the flight. We're trying to confirm that now. We're trying to find out if it's recorded, and if it's not recorded, find out what witnesses recall from that radio transmission, if it existed. We've heard about this. We haven't confirmed it. We're hopeful that it did occur. We're hopeful that it was recorded.
Doug, can you characterize what, if any, conversations the pilot had with air traffic controllers, and what is the protocol for communicating with ATC when you're over Manhattan?
As far as we know, the pilot was not in communication with ATC, nor was he required to contact ATC for his planned route of flight. We think this route of flight did not go as planned, and he may have ventured into airspace requiring that he contact air traffic control, but at the moment we don't have any records of him doing so.
So the plan is to keep the debris that is out there while you're doing your investigation. How, any way, are you going to be able to take parties down, or is that going to happen?
Yes and no. The plan is to get the helicopter off the roof as soon as possible, but we still need to look at most of the items before that moving begins. I hope the moving begins this afternoon or this evening. It's going to be very challenging. The salvage company responsible is on they're en route right now. How they're going to get it down is for them to determine. It may be down the stairs and down the elevators.
Do you know the name of the salvage company?
I do, but I've forgotten it. Forgive me.
Can you speak to how long an investigation like this will take?
Investigations like this generally take between 18 and 24 months. We've got a new target to try to get those down to 15 months. I hope I can do that. I can't make that promise now.
Can you characterize at all the interview with the Westchester passenger? Did he say there was any problem aboard the helicopter on the way to 34th?
I don't have the details of that conversation, but what I've been told from the interview with the passenger on the previous flight is that there was nothing out of the ordinary.
Will you be able to perform toxicology tests on the remains of this pilot?
Toxicology tests are something that we normally do in all fatal accident investigations at the NTSB, and we plan to do so in this one.
Doug, an eyewitness shot video of a helicopter appearing to fly erratically in that area. Were you able to determine if that indeed was the helicopter that crashed?
I haven't seen that video. I've heard about it. We believe that to be the helicopter. It's something that I still have to confirm.
Doug, he was waiting between 11:45 and 1:30.
Roughly 11:45 to 1:30. Yes, he was waiting, and I don't know if he was waiting for the weather, but he was reviewing the weather or looking up the weather during that time.
So Doug, do you know if he was cleared?
We're going to take two more questions.
Do you know if he was cleared to go at that moment at 1:45 when he took off?
It's my understanding that they're not. That this flight was not required to, nor was he intended to be communicating with air traffic control. So per se, there isn't a clearance. It's the pilot's decision of when to depart.
Can you tell, Doug, just to confirm, what you're saying is it was up to him to decide whether he was going to leave, and how can you characterize the weather at that moment in this conversation?
I don't have any information. We don't have any information about the pilot's conversations at the FBO just yet. We have interviewed some of those folks. I haven't reviewed the results of those interviews. So what he said, if anything, is something I don't know.
Do you have
Two
any
more, that's it.
information that this was a habitual route?
1 second.
What's the most difficult part in a situation like this, even only you have been an investigator?
Well, all investigations are somewhat challenging. I'd have to say that the location within the city and on top of a roof of a building is probably the biggest challenge. One more right here, last question.
Yeah, sir, are you saying that he had conversations with the heliport ground control, you just don't know what they were?
Yes and no. The information that we've been provided with is that radio transmissions were made from the helicopter. To whom, I don't know. Did they actually occur? That's what we're looking into. That's the last question I can take today. We've got a lot of work to do. Thank you for your patience.
Are you gonna have another
Thank you for your
today?
time. We're not going to have another one today. Whether or not we have one tomorrow will be answered by Mr. Terry Williams. You've got his telephone number. That's him. Thank you very much.
Thank you.